Hey, what's up guys? So today I'm going to take a regular old Fast 201 and we're going to totally modify it to make it play like to today's standards, to make it much better. This is a mod I've been doing for years, since like 2005 or whatever, when this yo-yo first came out. I modded a bunch of these and I actually gave some to some of the people on the Fast Tour, like Mark Montgomery, Pat Mitchell. I modded some for them and they were using them for their demos and stuff. And yeah, there is totally a way to make this play way better. You're gonna need a drill press and just some basic tool experience. So this might, if you're a little one, this is definitely gonna be a project for your parents. And if you're a little older, just be careful and follow along. Okay guys, here we got a regular old Fast 201. So nothing to it, your regular old stock Fast 201. I think the only thing I've ever done to this is clean the bearing. I maybe de-shielded it. We'll start off with that. I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so first thing, to de-shield the bearing, it's got this like weird setup where it's like locked in there. So what you want to do, you want to put it like half on, and then you want to get something about the same size as this axle. So you could use another axle, or I got an Allen wrench right here, and stick that in just a little. Then you can pry it, and see it pops right off. Okay, look, I had a little piece of string in there, if you guys can see that. Like right there, so it's good I actually took that off. But yeah, so you're just gonna want, and then to de-shield it, you can shove a pin in there and just pry it up. It's real easy. But yeah, so I already did that, so we're gonna skip that part, but make sure you do that, if you haven't done that. And then these things, you can push it really hard to get it back together. But I'm also gonna take these O-rings out, so we're gonna take my knife here, and I'm just gonna stab this O-ring and pop it out here. Come on. Come on. There we go. That was easy. There's gem. Okay, that one doesn't want to come out. Okay, so I got those out. Now, all I did was I went to the hardware store and I found these spacers. They were 5 cents. I just brought the yo-yo into the hardware store with me and found ones that matched. It's super simple. If you have trouble, just ask. Go to your local hardware store. I'm sure the people there will be more than happy to help you. But it was very, very simple. So that's gonna be my new spacer now. So that's gonna be like a shim to keep the gap as wide as possible. So instead of having, where you can screw it together, get a little tighter, I want it to just be, stuck as tight as possible. Okay, so that's that step. Next step, you can take something and you're gonna pry off the cap. Okay, to pry off the cap, there's these little holes in there, so you can put a knife in there, or here, look, you can even use something like a fork. Like, to be funny, why not? Well, let's use the fork. It was out there. So we'll put that in there. Come on, and just pry the cap up. You see, it just pops right up. Come on, and there we go. Okay, you want to save that, or you can make your own, make a new picture, put that in there. The cool thing about the inside of this is it's clear, so you could paint it from the inside out, and you can have painted one. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove all these starbursts. Okay, so we're just gonna use our fork or a knife or whatever, and I'm just gonna pull them up. You see, I'm gonna pull them out. Then they got that like little housing there, so I'm just gonna pull them out. Don't even need to break them off. I'm just like kind of folding them. You see? Yeah. Okay. So do the same thing to the other side. Come on, Fast 201. There we go. I think pry them all off because we don't want these anymore. Come on. If you break one off too, it doesn't matter. I got lucky so far and I haven't broken any. But if you could even break them all off if you wanted. You could take this whole plastic piece off if you wanted, but I'd leave it in. I think it looks kind of cool. Okay, so now that we got those all pulled up now, if you see, it's totally flat there. Okay, now there's these holes. Okay, and these holes are actually gonna act as a little bit of a response by themselves. So I'm only gonna recess one side. I'm gonna recess this for like a silicone, so I can put like silicone in there, but I'm gonna do it the same size, where if you wanted to put like a Dunkin' sticker in there, you could do that. That's how I used to always do it. And then back when like silicone started coming out, then I started filling them with silicone, like I did in this one. This is one me and CJ did years ago. Okay, so you see how I just filled one side with silicone? Okay, so I'm gonna cut a groove in it just like that. I'm gonna use my drill press. Let me grab a couple things and I'll be right back. Okay guys, now I just took a scrap piece of wood. I drilled a little pilot hole with a really small drill bit right there. And I'm just gonna, now I'm gonna screw this yo-yo half into the wood, okay? And what I'm gonna do is I just got a screw small enough here, it fits through here, and I put one of those washers just right in there. So I'm just gonna do it right into the pilot hole. Now the reason you do the pilot hole is just so you don't split the wood. You know, nothing really to it, so real simple. Let me just screw this in real quick. Okay, now the goal here is I want it tight enough where it doesn't shake back and forth, but I don't want it so tight where I can't spin it, because that's how I'm going to be cutting the groove on the drill press. Okay, so a little tighter. Okay, that feels pretty good to me. It's quite snug, but not impossible for it to move. So that's good. Now to cut it, what I'm going to do is in my drill press, I'm going to use this bit. This is a 1/4 inch, it's like a straight drill bit, so it's gonna cut like a channel instead of just cutting like one point. We're gonna cut like a flat, like little channel for it. Okay, so let me set this up on my drill press. I'll put this in the chuck, and we'll be right back. Guys, here is the drill press itself. Okay, so right here we got the drill press, and then I got the board secured down with 2 C clamps. I got my 1/4 inch straight bit right there. Now you want to make sure when you do this you're leaving enough space where you're not going to drill directly into the bearing seat, so you have a little gap there. Otherwise you're going to ruin it. So you need that little bit of gap for the bearing seat. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm talking about. Let's zoom in a little bit right here. So you can notice as I bring it down, there's still a little bit of room, okay? So I'm not going to drill directly into the bearing seat. You need to have the slightest bit of room there. Okay, so let me plug the baby in, and let's do it. Gang, let's get into it. So hopefully you guys can see this, and just, yeah, make sure you're careful if you do this. You want to start really slow. You don't want to go a lot at a time, so if you mess up, you can fix it. Okay, you can see there we have our initial outline of how the cut is going to be. It looks like we're not going to cut into the bearing seat, and it's going to be enough room. Hopefully the camera can pick that up. But yeah, I think it's going to be pretty good. So let's just keep going little by little. Don't push. You don't want to push this down too fast. You don't, otherwise you're going to make it shake and it's going to cut uneven. So make sure, take it real slow. Don't rush it. Okay guys, that is exactly how deep I wanted to go. And yeah, let me take it out and we'll take a closer look at it. Okay guys, so I think that turned out pretty good. I got about right how I wanted it. Now you could clean it up with a little sandpaper, but just to save time, I'm just gonna, you know, take her off and be done with it. Okay, so we got it out of there. And once again, there's a closer look. So we got the space for the bearing. You got 2 options here. You can either fill it with a thick silicone, like a red RTV silicone. Obviously flowable silicone is not going to work, because unless you mask off the back maybe with some tape or something, but it's going to obviously flow out. So we're going to use a Duncan friction sticker, which is kind of like when I was first modding these. This is how we used to always do it back in the day. So it's, you know, kind of cool. So just, you know, just shove that sticker in there. Come on. There you go. It doesn't have to look perfect. It's not a beauty contest, you know. But now we got a recessed sticker, so totally recessed Duncan sticker in there. So now we can put it back together. We're going to use the shim. Okay, we got our bearing. Let's see if I can get that. Come on, get back together. There we go. One more slam. Okay, there we go. So we got our spacer. Sorry about the wind. The bearing. Our other spacer. And where's our axle? Where'd that axle go? Dun dun dun. There we go. And our axle. Okay. So we're gonna get that back together. Get in there. Man, these are actually constructed pretty well. It's like very hard to get them apart and together like this. Like the bolts are in there very securely. Gosh darn it. So try to do this better than I'm doing it. Otherwise you look like how I'm doing it. Like an idiot. Okay, so come on, get in there. The axle's not all the way in on the side. Come on. Thread in there. Thread in there, baby. Oh, gosh darn it. Okay, make sure you push this part all the way in. Apparently that's really important. There we go. Okay, now, for real this time, we're going to put it together. And, dun 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 dun. Okay, see now it's got the nice wider gap. There we go. Now it's all the way together. It's got the nice wider gap, and it's got the recessed sticker, so it'll be nice and unresponsive. There we go. There we go. Okay, so now we're gonna put the sides back on. You know, and let's put a string on it and let's see how. Okay, guys, now it's all put back together. I think it looks pretty cool like this. I left one graphic off. I thought it looked kind of cooler like that. So one final thing you could do is sand it so it's nice and good for grinds. You could either just do that by hand, or one way to make it, you know, a little nicer so that all the lines are going, you know, in the same, is just to spin it and hold the sandpaper to it. You know, it might take you a couple throws to get it good. But yeah, now this thing requires a bind, and it can handle, you know, all my more advanced tricks now. But yeah, it's just, you know, a lot of fun. And it's cool to be able to do whip tricks and stuff on a Fast 201. That's just really cool to me. So if you guys got a Fast 201 and you got access to a drill press, I say definitely try it. Just if you do, you know, make sure you guys are safe and you don't kill yourselves. So until next time, guys, I'll see you later.